Dr. Mofananya. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If you want to see how I created this very delicious and tasty banana bread, stay tuned and watch. So here is a list of ingredients that will be going into this recipe today. In the back I have all-purpose flour. I'll be using 2 cups of that. And to the side of that I will be using 3/4 cups of dark brown sugar. I'll also be using 1 teaspoon of sea salt, as well as 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I also have some baking powder, which is going to be optional. I'll be using 1 teaspoon of that as well. I have 2 large eggs and 1 stick of butter at room temperature. I'll be using 1/2 cup of butter. I also have 1 whole lemon, which I will squeeze into the batter. And of course I have my very ripe and sweet banana that will go into this banana bread recipe. And there you have it. To the bowl of butter, I have a bowl of 1/2 cup of melted butter. Well, semi-melted. It's not supposed to be melted, it's supposed to be room temperature, but I'm working with melted butter today, and we'll see how it goes. To the melted butter, I'm going to be adding 3/4 cup of brown sugar. And then to that I'm going to be adding the 2 eggs that have already been beaten. And I'm just going to mix this up into a nice consistency. And these are the wet ingredients that we will add to the final batter in a second. But I'm just going to continue to mix this up until we get a really nice consistency. Okay, so I've been mixing for about 3 minutes now, and this is pretty much the consistency that I'm looking for. So I'm going to also set this aside and work on my ripe bananas next. So in a large bowl I have added about 5 really ripe bananas, and I'm just going to go ahead and mash them up with my fork. Mash them all up. And to those mashed bananas, I'm going to go ahead and add the wet ingredients that I already mixed up earlier. So I'm adding the butter, the brown sugar, and the 2 eggs that I already mixed earlier. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix that into the mashed bananas. And so now I'm going to go ahead and squeeze in 1/2 of that lemon. So to my bowl I have already added about 2 cups of flour, and I'm going to go ahead and add about a teaspoon of sea salt, as well as a teaspoon of baking soda. And then I'm going to add about 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm just going to mix that in. These are my dry ingredients, so I'll mix that in a little bit. And so now I am finally going to mix in the dry ingredients. And that is our flour, our baking soda, as well as our baking powder. And I'm just going to mix the flour in. I don't want to over mix it. I just want to mix it enough so that the flour is completely saturated, and that's it. Once again, you don't want to over mix the batter. So my batter has been mixed to the consistency that I wanted. Once again, I did not want to over mix the batter because I want the banana bread to be very moist. I want it to retain some of its moisture. So I mixed it just enough so that the flour was saturated. And now the batter is ready to go into the oven. So now I'm just going to go ahead and pour my batter into a pan that I've already buttered, or you can grease, whichever you decide. Just gonna pour it all in there. Now my batter is ready to go into the oven. The oven has already been set at 350 degrees. And we are going to let it bake for about an hour, and afterwards we'll come and check on the finished product. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My banana bread is done and it looks beautiful. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, that is some good banana bread. Make sure you subscribe and come back for more. Bye.